Alright. And and today we have another grand day as I am gearing up with my co-host and my dear guest today for another wonderful episode of Hayami Estate. I gotta say though, this music is such a bop. Walk away, I want to do now. I gotta find out what this song is. Yeah, it might just. Alright, so. Alright. ありがとうございました。みんな、ご主人様 and everyone in between. Thank you all so much for joining me today here at the Hayami Estate. I am joined by the absolutely wonderful Houndorable Sav, and my co-host today is, well, my husband, Grim Graham.
Hello.
Hi.
It is an absolute joy to have you here today, Sav. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. No problem at all.
So, let's start off with some of the usual questions and all that. What made you decide to become a VTuber?
So I followed the Vtuber community for several years, and I was always like a fan of it. But I had to go through a career change earlier this year. I had like a quarter life crisis, is what I like to call it. And what came of it was I decided to become a VTuber.
Goodness.
And it's been great. It's been great. I'm glad it happened.
Oh, I mean,
How successful have you been?
What is it?
how successful have you been?
I mean, I think it's gone well so far. I've been a cosplayer for almost a decade, so I kind of bridged my communities together from my cosplay content over to being a VTuber. So I think that definitely helped me a lot. I'm not like new to content creation whatsoever. So
Very similar story to Takanashi Kiara, actually.
being compared to her makes me happy, thank you.
And
Well,
of course, Felicia has no idea who we're talking about.
nope.
That's okay.
You've certainly pulled in a lot of good numbers. How long have you been a VTuber?
4 months now.
Oh wow!
Officially. Only like 4 months.
And you've got about 1.6k on Twitter. Very nice.
I'm happy.
Mm.
I'm very happy.
It's always nice when you know that you have people behind you that enjoy your content.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends supporting me from the start, which is good. And like I said, people that I met through my my cosplay content creation have kind of been here with me too, so that's really nice.
For sure. Trying to explain to your family what a VTuber is like trying to explain rocket science to a grade schooler.
Yeah, I haven't touched that yet. I don't think I'm going to, unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, I had to build up a lot of courage to explain to my parents why I'm going to be spending $400 on something by some like independent Indonesian artist that she has never heard of.
Yeah, having the cosplay conversation was hard enough with them. So it's funny though, because I feel like my mom embraced it eventually. At one point, I went home and I visited her, and she had printed off some of my cosplay photos, and they were like hanging on the wall, framed. And I was like, "Mom, what is this? What are you doing?" I'm glad you're supportive.
That's so cute.
I know, I'm glad you're supportive, but I was so surprised. I was so shocked. I was like, just
Yeah.
in the living room, amongst normal family photos, it's just me in a wig on the wall.
I mean, okay. Is it like what kind of cosplay are we talking about here? How EG are we talking about?
No, they weren't like inappropriate. I don't know, she knows I do that sometimes, but she's like, I'm not gonna print those off.
I wasn't gonna go there, but now that you've admitted it, how inappropriate do you go?
I don't know. I don't like having clothes on.
Keep in mind, Felicity has a Fansly, so
Okay.
so don't feel ashamed.
Nah, no worries. I don't know. I embrace the lewd. A lot of like anime stuff is lewd anyways. I enjoy creating that kind of content. I just like the cute, skimpy outfits, you know? I wish I could dress like that normally. So I have to appreciate it while I can.
I can feel you. I can feel you there. I can only practice my nudism at home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a fan of pants, so if there's an opportunity where I don't have to have pants on, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. So, what made you decide on this particular avatar? And what is it? A chimera?
So, my username, which is Houndorable, it's always been my username that I've had for as long as I can remember, like posting stuff on the internet. And what it came from was when back in my Tumblr days, we all had Tumblr days, I'm sure. I'm really big into Pokemon, and if you were on Tumblr, having a Pokemon username, like of an actual Pokemon that exists, was a big deal. So when XMY came out, everyone was trying to guess like what we would be getting, and there were rumors that we were going to get new evolutions because we didn't know that Mega Evolution was what it was going to be yet. And Houndoom was in the leaks. So I was trying to guess like what a Houndoom evolution could be named. So I had like 20 different side blogs with like random guesses at like what it could be. And I came up with this. And I'm like, that's really cute. I don't think that's going to be it, but I'm going to save it anyways. And then when it turned out it wasn't an evolution, it was just the Mega Evolution. I was like, well, I'll just keep this. And that's where it came from. But my character, I'm technically based on a very specific demon by the name of Marcosius. And what she is, she's a shape-shifting she-wolf demon. She has a snake for a tail, and in the actual arts from like the Book of Solomon and whatnot, she can usually breathe fire, and she has like wings, but I didn't want to go too crazy to start with. When I originally wanted to be like a Hellhound VTuber, but I'm a big fan of Cinder, and Cinder debuted before me. And after she debuted, I was like, wow, she did that so flawlessly. There's no way I could do that now. Which I know isn't true. Like, if I really wanted to do a Hellhound, I could have. But I was just, I guess, so in awe with how she executed it that I wanted to seek something different. And I'm a big fan of reptiles and snakes. So when I found a way that I could incorporate both snakes and wolves, like hounds, I kind of fell in love with the concept.
Oh, hello, dears. Thank you to both Red Flame and Lazy for the first time chat. I hope you enjoy your time here at the Hayami Estate.
Hello, hi friends, welcome in.
I know for a fact that Lazy here is a bottom. So if you want to make him drop, just make sure to give them the sexiest voice you got. I always like messing with people that I know are gonna give me passwords.
I'll do my best.
And hello, Suki. Thank you very much for returning. I have one of my dear fans that always tries to come to my streams.
Welcome in. Hi.
There we go. There is my bank. There's my banking password. Thank you very much, Lacey. So, what do you plan on trying with your content?
Yeah, so right now, I'm mostly just doing gaming, where I am a cosplayer. My goal with VTubing, I kind of wanted to bridge together, like, cosplay community and the VTubing community, because there is a lot of overlap, but there was a period, for several years where VTubers didn't want to show their faces, and there was, like, a lot of stigma against that, I guess.
I still do, and I still think it's a stigma.
Yeah, and that's completely, like, your own preference, Like, that is personal choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with being an anonymous VTuber, but in the same vein, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to have your own, like, image associated with your brand, and that's especially true for me. There was a period where I was like, oh, I can't be a VTuber because I would have to, like, stop cosplaying or, like, hide all my cosplays and stuff, and I just, like, didn't want to do that because I already had, like, my face on the internet, But I've noticed, like, a turn, lately in the past, like, year or so. Like, you're seeing, like, really big VTubers, like, show their face more or even, like, do cosplays and post their cosplays, which is, like, so incredible to me. That makes me really happy. So at some point, I want to start doing, like, crafting streams, like my cosplay crafting that I already do anyways. I want to have a setup to be able to stream that, or maybe even do, like, IRL streams when I'm at cons, and that's just, like, really exciting to me. I just don't have, like, the equipment quite yet for that, but once I get there, that's, like, a big goal of mine.
Yeah, I want to try and do cooking streams at some point, or even just make some cooking videos for my YouTube channel. Either or, because one of my favorite hobbies outside of VTubing is cooking, and, well, according to my family, I'm the best cook in the family.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I was always in charge of dinner when I lived with them, so there's that.
I like watching cooking VTubers. It kind of motivates me to want to cook more. I can cook. I just don't think I'm a great cook. So there's that.
I don't think of myself as a good cook. I just know that I can cook well enough to be able to make sure that everyone remains well fed.
I mean, certainly act like you know what you're doing. Or, well, maybe I should say you certainly act like no one else knows what they're doing.
Grim. The fact is that every time I've seen you cook, you've either exploded something in the microwave or something worse.
What are you talking about? Firstly, if I'm unlike you and other women, I do not post pictures of my food all the time. Number one. So when I do post it, it's usually because I think it's funny. Two, I don't even remember the last time I posted any kind of cooking failure.
You showed me when we first started dating.
Yeah, that was over a year ago.
How catastrophic was it? What was it?
The entire microwave was just... Oh my god, why?
Are you sure that was me? Because that doesn't sound like anything I've done.
Like, whatever was in the cup was now just all over the microwave.
Up? Okay, now I know you're making shit up.
No, I'm not. So, what's your favorite gaming genre?
Ooh, I consider myself a variety gamer, like a variety gaming streamer, but I'm a big fan of horror games. I like spooky games and whatnot. I am a demon after all, so I do enjoy the spooks.
I
But
can't.
Particularly memorable horror games?
ooh, I'm a big fan of like the Resident Evil series. I'm a big fan of the Silent Hill series. I've been playing the new Amnesia game recently. Haven't quite beat that one yet, but I've had a lot of fun with it. And then just like random indie horror games. I actually have a Dead by Daylight stream coming up this weekend.
Oh my
But
god.
we're doing the Drunk by Daylight edition. So
Dead by Daylight is like one of my favorite horror games to play, but I only play it with
Mhm.
friends. And everyone is all up in arms when I play Huntress because I voice act when I do when I do the Huntress. Everyone seems to love my Russian accent.
really adds to the experience.
And then when I do her singing, everyone's just like, "Oh fucking hell!"
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd be down to play sometime if you want.
Of course, always willing to make new friends while while stalking them throughout the fields.
It's a good bonding experience.
God, why is it always such a hard thing to try and organize a collab with someone new? It's like everyone always thinks you're like a stalker or that you're just too upfront. I don't even know how you found me attractive in any way, Felicity.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
And he never found out.
I mean, yes, because her mind is an enigma.
Well, I could say the same about you, Grim.
Alright, what is so enigmatic about me?
A lot of things.
No. You started this. You're gonna have to explain it.
Well, I find you absolutely adorable. You know how to make me laugh.
What about that enigmatic?
Well, I don't really know anything outside of outside of like things like your favorite games. The fact that you're an absolute shitlord.
Whatever that means.
A shit-posting meme lord.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. I mean, every single time, like he posts something. It's like, oh, is did you get banned off 4chan again?
Oh no. You
I
pulled
only
a bat.
get banned because I intentionally spam traps.
You pulled a baddie by posting memes.
Yeah, I post femboys on. I post femboys on the safe for work fucking boards to try and derail threads.
Oh my goodness.
So, do you play any sort of first-person shooter games?
Ooh, I almost said Splatoon, and then I realized it wasn't first person.
Say, do I have someone to play Splitgate with again?
I love Splatoon. I'm a big Splatoon fan. First person wise, not anymore off the top of my head. There was a period where I played, let me think. I did play Overwatch for a while, not much now. I still have it installed. Apex. I'd say Apex is the top FPS I have.
Well,
I enjoy that one the most, I think.
well, if Maybe you could try giving Splitgate a go, cause Grim here needs a new sparring partner.
I mean, I already I'm honestly more just waiting for the sequel to come out whenever it does.
Are there any
That's
other
it.
games?
I am actually looking for collab partners because I still have a few spaces open for Duck Game.
Oh yeah, I keep seeing people play that.
Oh, it's on sale right now, and it's incredibly
Ooh.
dirt cheap too. It's Friday night if you're free, because it's going to be such a blast. That game is such
He too
a
is
shouting match.
Grim 2 is EST, so you'd be able to make it on time.
Thank you for divulging information I rather would not.
Alright, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I am in the America land.
I
Yes,
am...
and because I am not, I want to try and narrow... Here's the thing, you don't mind revealing yourself. I do. And I don't
I understand.
I am a...
California has a larger population than my whole fucking country, so to narrow down my time zone is to narrow down a lot of people.
Gotcha, I understand.
I am an Aussie belle that doesn't care about the way she speaks.
Like that about you. I like your voice. I think it's really soothing.
But isn't that just Australian in general?
Oh no, if you want real Aussie, like what people think Aussies are, you gotta really go like this and make people think you're all outback, mate. You fucking siggy butt brain and all that, mate. Goddamn cunt, Dave. Let me bum off your cigs, you fucking wanker.
I was more referring to just what I've observed since I've met you, that being the Australian nature of just not giving a shit.
Pretty much. I mean, our old codgers will smack a fucking salty with a frying pan.
I think she's talking about a saltwater crocodile.
Yes.
About to say I need a translator. I apologize.
Basically, she's saying Australian boomers will just straight up smack a saltwater crocodile, the largest in the world, with a frying pan. With, like, zero fear.
I mean, sometimes you have no other option. You just gotta run out with your frying pan, get them off your yard, you know?
And thankfully, she's going to be moving in with me in Canada.
Away from the alligators.
Where there was very little, if anything, poisonous.
True. Everything is out to
Except,
kill
like,
you in
Ontario.
Australia. Yeah, what's like some of the wildest creatures that you encounter in Australia? I'm a big fan of like animals and wildlife, but even I'm like, man, I feel like everything's out to get you in Australia. I'm kind of afraid.
Oh, well, some of the stuff that I have encountered since I studied wildlife in high school. Oh, that's a whole story in itself. My main assignment for that class. Oh my god. So there was the carnivorous quail, quokkas, Tasmanian devils, kangaroos, sugar gliders, flying foxes, bats, cassowaries. Never fuck with a cassowary.
No.
Cassowaries are dangerous.
My dad nearly lost a nipple to a cassowary.
Oh my god.
Don't feel too bad, her dad's trash.
He's literally the definition of Aussie trash.
Basically.
Why the nipple?
'Cause he was trying to find a cassowary shirtless. He was fucking wasted. So, yeah.
I would never fight a cassowary, period.
How dangerous are bin chickens now that I think about it?
Not dangerous at all. You can fucking throw your shoe at them and they'll piss off.
Like, could you just, like, straight up punch them in the face or something?
A friend of mine fucking punted one.
And they just do not fight back. They just run away.
They're fucking cowards. They're fucking cowards, the little shits. But I can't.
Okay. So,
I can't
so
stand
I
this.
guess we have found Australian wildlife that is actually less dangerous than the North American equivalent because, okay, so bin chickens, by the way, are basically, they're equivalent of raccoons.
They're ibises.
Ibises, but everyone in
Oh!
bin chickens, because...
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That you find in them.
Here in Australia, we call them bin chickens because they're fucking little rancid wankers that'll dig through your garbage.
I was about to say, those are the birds that go through your trash cans, right?
Hell yeah.
That's...
Those fucking little wankers can stay out of my garbage. Oh, hello. Thank you, Mortimer, and thank you, Scion, for joining us over on YouTube.
Hey, Mort, ready for Duck Game Friday, Mort?
Let me just do a few little things here. This way I can actually see the chat. And custom doc.
So, I don't know if this was specifically asked, but how did you discover the VTubing community?
Oh, man.
Like, what was, as far back as you can remember, what was the very first thing that introduced you? Was it Holo Live clips? Was it a friend?
I wish I could pinpoint who, like, the first VTuber I ever saw was. Let me think here.
It's not easy. For me, it was...
It's not easy.
For me, it was completely by accident, too. I was watching a gameplay video by an Australian YouTuber by the name of Remy. And he just inserted, like, a clip from Project Melody, and I didn't even know who that was.
Oh.
And I wouldn't see that character again for months later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might have actually been what put VTubing in my recommends in the first place.
Man, I feel like I might remember. I used to play Love Live a lot, like the rhythm game on your phone.
Oh yeah, I played that. That was the that was the game that I spent $500 on while still high off of sleeping medications that I accidentally OD'd on.
Oh no. Yeah, I've never done the math, but I don't want to talk about it. I probably am somewhere near you.
Oh no, I spent $500 in one go.
Ooh.
To be fair, you were heavily medicated.
That's true. We can't follow you.
I do know you enough to know how physically irresponsible you can be.
It was, yeah. I was just high as a kite, even after all that. But
can I ask? Was there like a specific card you were trying to get, or like which girl were you pulling for? Just out of my own curiosity.
I was just trying to get as many Hanayo cards as possible, I think.
Ah, I can see that.
Hanayo is best girl.
She good girl. She's rice-loving girl. Very sweet.
She's such a sweet little girl.
I don't know who you're talking about. All I know is that they probably have gel brew eggs in the hundreds.
Oof. Well.
That's
probably
one way to get introduced to like the VTuber community.
That's correct. But anyways, I think there was a video that Kizuna Aya did where she was playing Love Live. And I was like, VTubers play Love Live? Question mark? Because I kind of knew what they were at the time. But I saw her playing Love Live, so I clicked on it. And it was just her playing like a really hard song and like screaming because she was like missing all the notes, and I was like, okay, this is actually really relatable and kind of funny. So I think that's the start. That's the earliest back I can remember, anyways.
Going back to what you said about making the decision to do this, looking back at the last 4 months, who would you say has been the best experience you've had and the worst experience you've had?
Oh man. I'd have to really pick my brain for that. I don't know if there's like a single like really good experience that sticks out in my brain, because I've had a lot of good encounters with people. Like I've met some really cool people, like you guys.
Well, maybe
And
people you've met.
that's true. Like I feel like I
met my partners.
Yeah, that's true.
I met friends for life.
You really can.
I've grown a lot socially.
Yeah, it's really been a gateway for me to meet, I guess, more people that I wouldn't have met in my other circles, like just at cons or through like cosplayers I know. So that's been really
Especially
cool.
People who like relate to you in ways you didn't think possible. Like I'm
Yeah.
kind of shocked at how many other VTubers also have autism, and it definitely helps me feel like I'm not alone. But there's got to be like some really painful thing that's happened, right? Like some drama you accidentally got sucked into, even if it wasn't about you. Or like just an example of, wow, this kind of sucks being a VTuber.
Let me think. I'm gonna be honest, where I've only been using my model for 4 months, I haven't fallen into anything like terrible like that. You know, I'm on Twitter. I try to. I'm sure it will. I'm on Twitter. I try to keep an eye on things or whatever people are complaining about on the internet that day.
That's exactly the problem you should do
Yeah.
on Twitter.
I just use Twitter to like stay connected, you know, and like advertise. You know,
that's exactly what I do. But unfortunately, every now and then, something is trending for the stupidest reason.
Oh yeah, and I will look at it. I will click on the hashtag and I will look at it, but I may not always comment on it.
Yes, especially when it's political trending. You're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? But is there anything like any other ambitions you have, like anything you dream of doing? Do you think this will become a career for you?
Oh man, I mean, if it could, you know, I would happily take that, because I really do enjoy creating content. I've had a ton of fun shooting. I really do enjoy it. And like I said, I had kind of like a quarter like life crisis. I had to change like my current career field just because the turbulence of certain industries post-COVID is still like very real. And then I also live in America, so that's a whole other factor you gotta add on, the wild shit that goes on in America. So yeah, I'm kind of just, I guess, taking stuff by ear for now, doing like what's best for me to stay afloat. But I can say for sure that like VTubing is my current passion, aside from like cosplaying, and that's.
Indeed, I've made the decision that even if this does go nowhere, I'm still going to do it at the very least as a hobby.
Of course, yeah, that's how I feel too.
My sibling is surprised that I have stayed in VTubing as long as I have. But honestly, every time I've felt like I've wanted to quit, either my husbands have told me I've still got a lot ahead of me, or just everyone in my community is telling me, you'd better not fucking quit, bitch.
We're holding you hostage against your will.
Honestly,
good to have
have fun without your consent. You will be having.
It's honestly just been a lot of fun, and like
Mm-hmm.
The fact is that even though I call myself the Stream Mom Vtuber, everyone calls me Mom instead of just Mommy. And as one person told me a long time ago when I first started VTubing, is like, when you have that kind of respect from people, you know that that the community well has that kind of respect, really.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, they can call me mommy if they want to, but everyone just decides, okay, so how can I make mom happy today? I'm like, what the hell? Where were you 10 years ago?
Exactly. That's nice though. I do think having, I guess, people in your community that show their support and like genuinely tell you that they enjoy what you do and they like coming to your streams, that's extremely motivating and it makes me really happy. So
The amount, like, my friend Briley told me that it's called imposter syndrome, where you feel you don't deserve the platform or something.
yeah,
And
I've heard of that.
You definitely feel that way, even though it's obvious to everyone how much you deserve everything.
I mean, every time I hit a milestone, I'm just like, how? Nani the fuck?
One day you will be tired of being wrong.
Just give up on it eventually. You're like, okay, I belong here. I'm not going anywhere.
But
You guys asked for this. Now I can't leave.
But, well, honestly, I came into the VTubing sphere to build my confidence and hopefully make more connections. And I've done that in fair spades, according to Grim.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first met you, you weren't even sleeping, like, you still have problems sleeping, but at least you try to get 8 hours. Before your sleep schedule was absolutely fucked up, you did not brush your teeth. I'm surprised you even bathed, honestly. And it felt like every other day you were in the vent chat just going on about something.
Let's just say the living situation I was in back then was pretty rough. But I am now having the time of my life, doing what I love.
I owe it all to you.
Oh, Grim. So.
Well, I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy you guys are happy.
Oh well, we're happy that you're here to chat with us. It's always nice.
Thank you.
It's always nice to have a guest, and such an adorable guest is always nice.
If I may as well go back to some of the questions again. Obviously, being a part of the VTuber community means, it means that you are by default exposed to anime. So, let's start with what is the first anime you ever watched, and Pokemon doesn't count.
Let's see. If Pokemon doesn't count, does Sailor Moon count?
Yes,
that probably is up there.
Maybe just barely. Like,
I was about to say, a lot of people will discount it because it was like on TV.
It's been heavily circulated on TV.
Which Sailor Moon though? Is it the original Sailor Moon R, Sailor Moon Superstar, Sailor Moon Crystal?
It was the original, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But it was on TV. Where I am in American land person, I was watching Toonami and whatnot as a kid. So, anything that they were airing on Toonami, I guess, was my first exposure to it. So, man, what? I had like a Dragon Ball phase. The first manga I ever collected was Full Metal Alchemist. I still have all of those.
Love Brotherhood. Love Brotherhood.
Yeah, my very first anime would be Tenchi Muyo. It is now over 20 years old. I think 21 actually.
Gotcha.
And what about your favorite?
My favorite? See, I never know how to answer this. People always ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. There's so many.
And list them off.
List them off. Okay.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Like
I'm really
five.
bad at making decisions. I'm a bisexual person. I can't make decisions. Let me think. I'll usually, if I have to default to one, I'll say Clanad or Clanid.
Oh, Planet. Saddest
because
anime ever.
It made me sob so bad, and it's just stuck in my brain.
I
Because
will
of that?
challenge simply because I have yet to see anything more sad than Devilman Crybaby.
That was sad, but I think Clanad was sadder.
Okay, yeah, then I'll definitely avoid that because while Devilman Crybaby was amazing, I do not want to go through the pain and trauma of watching it a second time.
Understandable. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that, like,
nice.
very, very visually, I guess, was my experience with Devilman. It's
what-
such a visual journey. It was so cool.
Have you seen School Days?
I don't think so. I know the name, but it's not.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
It's an anime with multiple endings, but a lot of them are either.
Multiple endings? Is this a choose your own adventure thing?
Essentially, the ending of the anime has one of four outcomes that you'll watch each of in turn. One is where the main character gets murdered by his girlfriend because she fakes a pregnancy to force him to marry her.
Wait, I've heard about this. It was like
They have
mostly.
multiple endings for a set, like, that's not how.
Because it's based on a game, right? So they just animated all of them, which
Yes.
is awesome.
But,
And then the second,
but it's
the
not
second,
like a game where you can just choose a different path.
the second ending
Yeah.
is
in video media is fixed. So how do you get multiple endings?
the second
I think
ending is where the main character ends up having sex with his high school crush.
Oh, okay.
Third ending is when he ends up with his childhood friend who was trying to get him with his high school crush.
Uh-huh.
And then the fourth one is I have yet to see. Oh wait, no, the fourth one is where the again he ends up with his his childhood friend, but the high school love interest ends up becoming the big S and jumps off a building
Oh,
head first.
no.
So, how exactly do you have multiple endings to a fixed media like anime?
Like they just show each one in turn. It's like freaking what was it?
Like, what do you mean, like in sequence? Is it
Yosuga
like every
no-
now and then an episode airs that's different?
Yeah. Like basically with the with School Days, the ending of the anime was that not with like an episode would be different. No, the episode of the anime that was intended to be the ending had 4 different versions, and you would watch each of those in turn.
Yeah.
So there were 4 different final episodes.
Yes.
And was this like something that was aired randomly and just to like fuck with people?
No. Another anime that had the whole multiple ending was Yosuga no Sora.
Mm.
Oh boy. I mean, there's twincest in one ending.
Oh,
Nice.
goodness.
And then again, they're all childhood friends. One is a shrine priestess, so shrine maiden. Another one is the school librarian. One is his teacher, and then the fourth one is literally his rapist.
Oh, no. That just got worse and worse.
Yeah. I'm just like, wow. So you just forgive the girl that freaking did that to you at age 9? Okay, then.
Ooh, I
I
was
know
about to
that
say,
I'm gonna have to age restrict this one over on the YouTubes.
it happens. I was about to say Clannad, actually. There's 2 Clannad animes, so there's the first one, which is just called Clannad, and then there's Clannad After Story.
Oh, after
Um,
story.
Both
That's
very sad, but where it's based on an Otome game, they also did the thing where they animated multiple endings.
I haven't seen the
Um,
multiple endings of Clannad. I only saw the after story
Yeah.
where it was Nagisa dying and then being brought back because of the other world.
Yeah. So Nagisa is like the true ending. She's like the canon girl that he gets with. But there's technically a route for each of the girls, and so they had a final episode for each girl's route that you could watch if you wanted.
Oh. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, it was cute. So if you liked another girl more than Nagisa, there was like a closure ending for you that you could watch.
I'll always choose Nagisa though. She's just too
She's
sweet.
a good girl.
She's
a
too
sweet girl. She's really good.
Oh, for sure.
And now we've established best. What about worst? What is the most trash thing you've ever watched?
Oh God.
And don't
So the
worry,
one-
because I'll always judge you either way.
That's fine. So the one that comes to my head immediately, as a cosplayer, I will like see a character design and I'll be like, whoa, that's a really cute character, or that's a cool character design, and then I'll go try to like watch the source material or like play the source material so I can learn more about the character. And there's this anime called Conception. I think that's what it's called.
Based
And-
on that name, I can think of
I was about to say.
directions this is going.
Your silence, I think, is at least a little comforting because it was so garbage. I guess it's based on a game, but there's this really cute character design, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the anime. I think I gave up like within 10 minutes. This dude gets like the plot's all over the place. He gets like isekai'd somehow, and then the place he gets isekai'd to is like there's these 12 girls, like there's one like based on each zodiac or whatever, and his purpose in that world is to get each of them pregnant and create an army that will with their children. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Question. By getting them pregnant, how exactly do you mean? Like, do you have to
How
take
do
them
you
to
get
first
someone pregnant?
Well, okay, first and foremost, there's a lot of different methods to use to get to that point, and that's what the question is. Is this supposed to be like a romantic comedy sort of thing? Or is it just some hentai?
So it was really just like a hentai because there weren't that many episodes. It's based on a game, so I assume if you played like the PSP game, you got a little more like dating involved, and I think the anime was very like just mashed together. They just animated it very quickly or whatever.
Yeah,
The only thing I-
need to make sure, because when you kind of explained the premise to me, all I can think is this like the fucking panda sex videos but for Japan?
No, so like I don't
It's
remember
like
there
the
being.
government-
Oh my
Is
god,
it
I don't
like-
remember. Go ahead.
Sorry, but like, just the idea is the government funding like anime specifically to explain to people how to date in order to deal with the birth rate crisis.
Here, I'll put some screenshots in the little group chat here. So he's got this little like isekai red panda dude that like guides him through the world or whatever. And
Oh,
that
God.
guy's purpose is to like get him to each of the girls. And I remember there's not a lot of dating going on. I will just tell you that. There's like this big open like bedchamber room with like a huge spotlight on it, and like that's where most of the anime takes place.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God,
what is going on here?
It reminds me of this one anime that I can't remember the name of, but it's literally just an Ultraman ripoff, but with high school girls. And the way that they would
Sailor
transform...
Moon?
No, the way they would transform. It was literal. The way that they would transform is basically the little mascot character that looked like a rip-off Gundam character. Gundam. He would shout, "I'm coming," while you grabbed him as he turns into a fucking shaft, and then they would transform. and then they would transform into these giant ultra women rip-offs to fight kaiju rip-offs. I'm just like, how many fucking rip-offs are in this thing?
See, at that point, I don't even think it's a rip-off. I think it's more like a homage.
Yeah.
Or like a parody. But like the way you describe it makes it sound more based than anything else.
I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? And I never touched it again. Because I was just like, okay, after this one episode, I feel like I need a shower. Because there was so much goddamn fan service in this, with all the clothes ripping in the right places and everything. I'm like, okay then.
Then again, I wouldn't exactly. Keep in mind, I've seen anime like that, which doesn't also feel like fan service.
I mean, it's possible to have that balance.
Also, Goblin Slayer, which is something I actually do enjoy.
Oh god.
The silence speaks volumes.
No, I'm just having flashbacks to that anime. Ugh.
I like the soundtrack for that anime, and I like the character designs in it. Man. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the girls' designs and conception, and they're all like so cute.
It's
but
too
I'm
bad the
just
anime
like, why?
is just...
Yeah, why is this plot just like
the conception
all
of
over
this
the
conception of this anime was very unplanned.
I just found a YouTube video titled Dumbest Isekai Concept Ever, and it's about this anime. So.
Basically.
Have you ever heard of Akiba's Trip?
No.
Okay, so it's spelled Akiba, like apostrophe S trip, but it's about this guy who like has to fight, I think, aliens in Tokyo or whatever, or in Akiba, and when he fights them, like the gauge of where their HP is at is like how much clothes they have on. Like as he's fighting these enemies, their clothes like start tearing and stuff.
Did the creators of this anime just think, oh, let's use the same premise of Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus and just put it in our anime?
Have you ever heard? Oh my god! Have you ever heard of a game called Battle Non-Connor?
I don't think so.
I'm sort of fudging the last part of the name, but it exists, and it's a fighting game, but that's the same concept of just the more damage a character takes, the less clothes they have.
Okay, that checks out.
It was pretty controversial.
It's funny because, well, there's an anime of it, and it's not bad in my opinion. And even the game of Akiba's Trip, it's goofy on purpose. It's actually kind of fun. Like I would recommend it as a game. But if you just Google it and you look up images, again, it's one of those situations where you're like, what is going on here?
Nani the fuck?
The difference between based and cringe is self-awareness.
I put a couple more screenshots in the group chat there.
Oh god.
I'm just
just the
What? Okay, question. What is it with Japan and this kind of stuff? Is it simply because of, like... I think the only theory I have is linked to Shimoneta, which is just that, like, Japan is still so conservative and so worried about the idea of public morality that it always just vents out in the weirdest fucking places.
That's what I was thinking, too.
I mean, if they made both LSD dream simulators... Oh god.
Actually, how do you see Shiboneta?
I don't think so.
I think that's the way it's pronounced.
Shiboneta? Oh! I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, because I only know it as Blue Snow because I don't do half translations. You either give me full Japanese with kanji and everything, or you give me the English translation of the title.
Mm.
I refuse to call it Boku no Hero Academia because that is the Japanese name, not the English one.
Understandable.
And if you try to explain that to like someone who doesn't know shit about anime, they're like, "What the fuck? Those aren't words."
Oh.
Kimi
So
no,
yeah, I have heard of this, but I've
Kimi
never
no
watched it.
honto ni ahoya.
Yeah, I've never watched it. There's that cute girl with the silver hair. I didn't know she was from this, actually.
But you have seen Shimoneta?
I haven't seen it, but I like know of it. I know a little bit about it.
It's very interesting, especially since like they take every opportunity physically possible to make innuendo, either visually or just in the like. There's one character who gets knocked over, but she has like that kind of hair that like goes down to the chin and like curves inward.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like her falling over with water or something, I think.
Okay.
So,
I'm actually looking at that image right now.
Yeah, and you just look at it from behind, it looks like a dick spewing cum, but it's all Freudian. It's all like your own like your own pattern recognition.
Uh-huh. See, something
sure
like
would-
this, at least it's very self-aware, you know? I respect that. When they're like,
That's
this is
exactly
a
the
lot.
thing.
This is cringe as hell, but it's okay, because we know it's cringe.
Oh my god.
But the thing is about Shimona is that as ridiculous as it is, it's not too far off because like certain words they use, like public morality and morality police, it's like like that is the argument for why Japan like has to mosaic censor everything, is because of, like public morality.
I still
whatever the fuck
can't
that means.
I still can't get over like the fact that someone made hentai Carmen.
Hentai what?
Hentai Carmen. Essentially, it's basic. If I remember, Japan has become super conservative, but there's this one chick that goes around wearing her panties on her face, trying to give everyone hentai to read, just to get back at the government.
That's kind of punk.
Not really to get back at the government, it's more just to express freedom. Which,
Mm.
and keep in mind that an important part of that anime is like how ignorant everyone is about sex. Like, sex that is not taught, nobody knows where babies come from. Actually, one of the characters is like this nerdy girl she's like that kind of like messy haired, bags under the eyes, monotoned, and she is obsessed with figuring out how reproduction works to the point where she's been banned from hospitals for like interrogating mothers.
Oh my goodness.
In the maternity ward. And she has like pet flies, and she just closely watches them fuck just to understand what's going on.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Yeah, I'm still looking through Google. There's a lot going on.
Oh, that is for certain.
I might watch it just to say I did and gawk at it.
it's actually good. Like, it's hilarious. It knows exactly what it's trying to be.
Yeah.
And oh god, I'm not even gonna describe the cookies. All I'm gonna say is a character bakes cookies, and you'll have to figure out the rest from there.
Okay.
You just, just animes that have all kinds of different ways of making innuendo in very clever ways. I love that sort of thing.
Yeah. I want like some creativity in there, you know, not just like the same old, same old.
I mean, I still remember when the Powerpuff Girls made that joke way back when, and it was like, what was it? Oh yeah, it's like the professor made us in his laboratory by accident, and then Robin just goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, you don't have to worry about it too much, Professor. I was an accident too."
That was Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Was it really? I don't remember that. That's so funny.
On the subject of just like just hentai anime that's actually good.
Hmm.
You don't watch hentai, I don't think.
I do, but I don't like keep up with releases, if that makes sense. If I see something going around and I'm like, oh, this girl's cute, or like, oh, this looks interesting, I'll seek it out.
Have you seen Interspecies Reviewer?
I have, and I love it. I think it's so
genius.
funny.
That is a genius too. It's like,
It really is.
Like, how exactly does a brothel for fire elementals work? They turn it into fucking Korean barbecue.
Right, like it asks the important questions that we all want to know, and that nobody else was willing to answer.
God, I mean, I spoke about this game to Grim a while back, and he's like, "What the fuck kind of game are you playing?" It's called Come On Bukake Ranch.
Well, that just sounds like a lot.
Isn't that the game where you breed monster girls?
Yeah, pretty much. You have to breed them in order to get ingredients for something called the Slutstone.
Slutstone.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
That's all I'm
once
saying.
again on Google. What is happening here? Hold on.
I just because a friend of mine suggested I try that game at one point, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this is. Oh. Well then.
I wish Google would stop turning my safe surf on. I didn't ask for that.
I've only played it for like 20 minutes and then never touched the game again.
There we go. But no, I am a mon.
On that subject, have you ever experienced really bad games in your life?
Oh yeah.
Do tell.
A certain genre, or do you mean or just any?
Just a game.
That you think
oh god.
deserves scorn.
It deserves scorn. I know I said I'm a horror game fan. There's a lot of stinker horror games. I hate to say that.
Oh boy.
Well, they just missed the mark completely. There was one that came out not so long ago that I was really excited about. It's called Grey Hill Incident.
Ah.
It's about aliens. It's based on Roswell and novels that have been written by people who.
Roswell.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
And it turns out it wasn't a weather balloon, it was a reconnaissance balloon.
Ah, well. Yeah, I know, and there's the government whistleblowers or whatever that are talking about alien secrets in the government. That stuff's really interesting to me.
The Roswell experiment was also where we got plastic bread bags from.
Oh, that's good to know. I actually did not know that.
Yeah, the clear plastic material they were using for the balloon. They got Kellogg to work on it.
Wow, the balloon itself?
Yeah. Which isn't surprising because Mattel made a lot of components for the original N16s back in Vietnam.
Huh.
Or else you can get plastic in industrial quantities. But anyway, continue.
That makes sense now that I think about it. But anyways, yeah, I was really excited about this game because it was based on novels that people had written who claimed to have been abducted by aliens and wrote their own novels or whatever. But the game, great concept. It was just executed so poorly. I have a good computer, I've been okay. This is the only game that I could not stream. I physically was unable to because it was running at 60% on my computer. It was taking up all my resources, and I'm like, guys, this isn't that
with your model?
Yeah. But it's running higher. No. It was running higher than VTube Studio. Even if I didn't have all my stuff open. That application. Yes. Yes. And that application alone was taking up 50% of my PC's performance or whatever.
Damn.
And it was super poorly optimized. Yeah, it was. I've never had problems before, and it's not a good. I don't want to say it's bad looking, but it's not a game that looks like it should run that high, you know? So
But
I ended up.
the gameplay itself wasn't bad, right?
Oh no, it was bad.
What's
So
bad about the gameplay?
there are aliens, right? These little gray men around town, and they'll like follow you and try to probe you, I guess is what they call it. You have your only weapons are you have a revolver and you have a baseball bat. The baseball bat cannot kill them, it only stuns them. For the revolver, it takes 2 bullets to kill one. And I think I found less than 10 bullets in the whole game. So you had to run and just bonk them on the head.
Well, they are trying to probe you, so you got to give them the horny bonk.
I know, but I'm like, can I just like beat them to death with the bat? Like, I don't know, swing it a little harder.
Feel like now I could be wrong because I haven't played this, but now I want you to know that if it's just like a case where was something missed, like a lot.
What do you mean?
Like, what if it was just that there was plenty of ammo, but there wasn't
Nope.
a need to use it? Or maybe it's like the game's scoring where you don't actually have to fight a lot of the enemies. So they don't give you that much ammo, and you have to like approach every situation carefully.
So I ended up having to do the stealth route, but the AI of the robots, or whatever you would call it, even if they're not facing your direction, if you're within a certain radius of them, they just become like psychologically aware of you, and they heat seek onto you. So that was a huge problem. To put it into scope, the reviews were very bad when it first dropped, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't get this. And they all had.
Find that a lot of. Was this an indie game, I assume?
Yes, it was like that team's first game that they released on Steam. Like, they don't have another game on Steam.
Because I find a lot of indie horror games are incredibly trash.
Yeah, they can be pretty scuffed. A lot of people, I feel like they're just like, it's their first attempt, and they're using like Unreal assets or whatever.
Lots of used assets, but even then, like, you know what's funny? I have never gone to school for game development, but I still feel like I know more about how to like make a good horror game.
Gotcha.
What's that one that came out that's supposed to be like sort of like Dora the Explorer horror game?
Oh yeah, Amanda the Adventurer.
I tried to watch gameplay of that, Calliope Mori gameplay,
and
it was so boring and predictable to the point.
I have to agree with you. That was one of those horror games that became like trendy, and I saw like everybody was playing it, but I watched.
Actually, probably one of the best horror games, and I haven't played this, but I've seen someone who knows about it way better narrate their experience playing it. And this has become like a new benchmark in my understanding, and that is myhouse.wad. Have you heard of that?
Is that the Doom mod?
Yes.
I did. I watched a playthrough of that, and it was really, really interesting.
What's really interesting, though, is the way that I forget the channel's name. I'll have to look it up. But it was a channel where the guy, like, basically he was doing Doom modding for decades, which is why the game felt even more disturbing to him, because things that your average Zoomer millennial would never really know, this guy knew. Like, and it just added an extra layer of discomfort, and it made me realize the importance of pacing in horror, not just the pacing, but also what one of the scariest things a person could ever encounter in that is whether or not they are insane. Not the character, but insane.
Yeah.
Second guess yourself. And I actually learned about that in psychology this year. Concepts of cognitive dissonance and how our minds refuse to accept information that conflicts with what we understand to be reality.
Yeah, almost like that uncomfortable, like, liminal space concept, I guess.
It's
I do.
Not necessarily. Like, let me put you this way. I guess you know the famous episode of The Twilight Zone, right? With the gremlin on the wing? part of the reason why that is so scary isn't the fact that, like, it's there, but it's you questioning whether or not you're going insane.
Okay.
Because no one else around you is questioning this.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which is also why games like Amanda the Adventure completely fall flat, because you don't go with the paranormal shit right away in a horror game. Like, you gotta edge yourself. You can't blow your load too quickly.
Oh, grim.
You're right. I'm not a big like jump scare fan for that reason. Like I want
even just jump scares. I couldn't.
Just
really
as an
think of
example.
Like with Amanda the Adventure, like one of the very first things in the game is we need to go to this store, and then you go to the store, and then you go out, and then it's like closed, and there's like chalk outlines in front of it.
Yeah.
Like, game you just started. Can you at least try to pretend to be normal?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that came out of nowhere.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't come out of nowhere. If it came out of nowhere, you'd be shocked because of how it, like, different and sudden the change of tone is. But it's like, no,
it just
start out right away.
Yeah. That's what I mean, though. Like, there wasn't any, like, suspense built up to it. It was just, like, there.
Keep in mind, though, that it's not just about suspense, because, like, in Alien Isolation, when you meet the alien, there's no cutscene or anything. It just drops from the ceiling. Like, it's always been there. And that just happens. It's not so much... It's more about, like, the build-up rather than...
Yeah.
I can't even talk right now.
Okay. I see what you're trying to say. That makes sense.
Well, unfortunately, we must end things here.
Because I was gonna ask you if you played Faith.
Faith? I don't think so.
Yeah, you never played Faith?
I don't think so.
It's graphics are based on like the Atari games.
Oh wait, I've seen someone play this though. It's
My
really
nightmares
cool
are getting worse.
Faith is basically if the Satanic Panic were real. And there were actually satanic churches built underneath preschools.
I think I watched Markiplier play this, and I thought the aesthetics were like super cool.
Indeed. But anyways, thank you for your time then.
Thank you so much, Sav, for joining. It really was wonderful having you here. And hold on one moment while I grab your Twitch channel for everyone to go follow. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Houndorable. That's your Twitch.
Yep.
There we go. Go give.
Hey.
Oh, I'm not followed. There we go.
How dare you?
Well, I have rectified my mistake. Let's see who it is that we shall give all of our attention to today.
Sounds good.